It's the Linemakers on Sporting News.
Hey everybody, we're ready to rev our engines again. Here are the Linemakers on Sporting News. The chase continues on the NASCAR circuit. What a wild weekend. Brian Blessing, Micah Roberts here at the South Point Casino in Las Vegas. Kansas, Micah, a lightning fast track. We saw a lot of blown tires and some crazy accidents. And if you're going to win a championship on this circuit, you got to be good, but you better be lucky. And boy, Brad Keselowski was last week.
Oh my goodness, Brad Keselowski, 6 races into the chase. He's still leading in points, 7 points above Jimmy Johnson, 20 points over Denny Hamlin. We keep waiting for him to fall and do something that's going to mess up and get out of the chase lead, but there he is. Only 4 races to go, so he's got a couple mile-and-a-half tracks. He's got Phoenix, where he should do well. The big key for him is this week at Martinsville, and if he can get a 9th or better, he might be okay and maybe win this thing for Dodge and Team Penske.
Keselowski was right behind an accident right in front of him, and he shot the gap, kept on going and soldiered on. As for the race itself, Matt Kenseth was a winner. I would just throw this out for the folks for next year's reference. Martin Truex, a runner-up in both races at Kansas, and he actually dominated the first race. He'll be a good play for you next year. But let's move on to Martinsville. And you think you might have found something here?
Well, I don't know if I found something. I mean, there's the same guys win almost every year. We've got Denny Hamlin's won 4 times. We got Jimmy Johnson, he's won 6 times. Jeff Gordon has won 7 times. Tony Stewart has won twice. That pretty much covers the decade at Martinsville. So these guys win all the time. But the trend that we're seeing here with Martinsville is that they win in bunches, and we've seen those guys bottled up winning either sweeping a season or winning 3 and 4 in a row, like we've seen Hamlin, like we've seen Johnson. And the last 2 races at Martinsville have been won by Stewart-Haas drivers. Last year it was Tony Stewart in the chase. This year it was Ryan Newman. I'm going to look for one of the Stewart-Haas guys to upset Denny Hamlin and Jimmy Johnson this week. And Ryan Newman is 25-1. Tony Stewart is 8-1. Those are 2 guys you want to look at.
And I'll tell you, folks, that is sound strategy. Several years ago, we were doing a preview of the Daytona 500. I really thought Montoya had a big shot to win. And that same conversation said, wait a minute, if you like Montoya, the setup on his car is going to be the same. You better use his teammate. And I had Jamie McMurray, thanks to you, at 35-1. So a lot of times, you got to go between the lines here.
You got to look at it, and they've been running well, both of those guys on this type of track, and they're going to be ready for this race coming up this weekend. So, you know, no disrespect to Denny Hamlin, who's been awesome here. He's from Virginia. No disrespect to Johnson or Jeff Gordon or some of the past guys that have won, but I really think Newman and Stewart are the guys to look at this week.
One final footnote on the big picture. We talked about Keselowski being a tad lucky last week. You marveled at Jimmy Johnson's ability to get a top 10 finish with a mangled car, and that goes top to bottom back to the organization and his crew.
That's just why this guy's won 5 championships. Jimmy Johnson, with the job that his crew did, putting that car together, accordion in the back of his car, it was unbelievably a mess. They taped it up, they strapped it together, they beat and banged it all together and got that car back out there to finish 9th place. That was better than Denny Hamlin, who finished 13th. One of the most impressive things I've seen by a pit crew this season, and a reason why Jimmy Johnson might win his 6th championship in NASCAR.
He's Micah Roberts, I'm Brian Blessing. It's an exciting finish in the NASCAR season, and we've got you covered here, the Linemakers on Sporting News.